been a pretty strong political week for Donald Trump and Nikki Haley withdrawing.
Yeah, well, what's interesting about the Nikki Haley withdrawal is also that right after that, Mitch McConnell endorsed Trump. Uh, there were many observers who thought that Nikki Haley might actually stick it out until the end because former President Trump has so many legal issues. And maybe at the convention, it would come back to her. But I think that she just saw the writing on the wall. Trump has a lot of popularity here, particularly among primary voters who tend to be a pretty small subset. But if you look across the Republican sort of establishment, they seem to have decided that Trump is going to be their candidate. So I think Haley just didn't have much of a choice.
And he had a win in the Supreme Court, Donald Trump?
He did. It looks like they're going to be moving back some of the proceedings. And so he wouldn't actually get, if he was going to be convicted. So, there are a number of cases. I'm sure you all can't keep track of all of the cases that are there against Donald Trump. I can assure you that we Americans also can't seem to keep track of all of those proceedings against him. But this one in particular, it's going to be pushed back. So he wouldn't be convicted until after the election. And so we would be in, I suppose if he won the election, we'd have some constitutional issues. But what's really interesting is though some of the civil cases have come back and bit him in the butt. And he owes something close to $500 million in penalties. And just paid yesterday $96 million as a bond toward the Jean Carroll case, where he was, I guess a polite way of saying that is he was very insulting toward her, saying that, and this is the woman he lost a civil case about her, apparently. So he has a large number of legal fees. And so the real question is, does he have that money or does he not have that money? Is it going to come from the Republican establishment? And could it possibly hurt some of the Republican candidates on down the ballot if the Republican Party has to prop him up in any way?
Look, as a professor of political science, and we're done for time, Martha, but do you look at this whole idea of Donald Trump standing again with all the pending litigation, the 91 charges, and find it a little amazing?
I do. And I will say, as a specialist in elections and voting behavior and election science, I would say, the sort of feels like he is pushing back on democracy. And I'll tell you that bothers me. And certainly I'm surprised that he's coming back and so popular.
Yeah, we'll have to watch your space with interest. November
is
still quite a way away. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too, my friend.